Today we're going to do an unfair comparison. This is the TAB V76 from 1950, the granddaddy of tube mic preamps, and we're going to run it against the newly released Behringer 676. So, 1950s German broadcasting technology versus Chinese-made ripoff of an old American design. This box here is 3.6 kilos versus the 6 kilos of the 76, the V76. About 500 euros, and this one here I'd rather not drop. And me being the curious mind, I'm definitely going to pop open the lid. I mean, screw the warranty. I want to see what kind of tube complement they have in here and where they cut their corners in order to achieve such a low price for this box. Okay, so let's take a peek. Well, we're greeted by 4 transformers, 2 for the mic preamp and another 2 for the 11T6, which is not the topic for today, but we definitely have a switch mode power supply snuck in here, and these tubes in here are probably prone for an upgrade at a later time. I suppose it's nothing special they put in here. And besides that, it's built in a very economic way with minimal wiring. We have those interconnecting ribbon cables here to keep things nice and tidy. There you have it. And opening up a V76 is actually quite a joy because you just need to literally loosen 2 screws and then you can pop open the lid like so. So what do we have in here? I mean, just look at the mains transformer. It is mu metal shielded. This is a very, very complicated build. Just look at the many layers of metal that are used here. This is probably the input transformer. Yeah, and then we have those pretty Telefunken tubes. The design is all point-to-point, no PCBs involved. Yeah, it's a beauty. I'm gonna make this a blind test with identical takes using matched pairs of microphones. They will be labeled A and B, but in no particular order. Rest assured though, there's no point in adding a stupid cliffhanger. I will spill the beans at the end of the video. And I think we're ready to roll. Let's fire up the preamps. This is a pair of Sennheiser MD211 Omni dynamic microphones. This is a pair of Sennheiser MD211 Omni dynamic microphones. I'm not too fond of them on my voice at least. Maybe we should try them out on acoustic guitar. I'm not too fond of them on my voice at least. Maybe we should try them out on acoustic guitar. And here's a pair of RM-BIV1 ribbon microphones. They are quite sensitive to plosive, so I'm using this pop filter here. And here's a pair of RM-BIV1 ribbon microphones. They are quite sensitive to plosive, so I'm using this pop filter here. The Behringer had to be maxed out gain-wise, and the V76 was set to 64 dB. The Behringer had to be maxed out gain-wise, and the V76 was set to 64 dB. Here we have a pair of Sennheiser MD211 omni-dynamic microphones. Here we have a pair of Sennheiser MD211 omni-dynamic microphones. They came out right before the Sennheiser MD211 and they are quite rare. They came out right before the Sennheiser MD211 and they are quite rare. These Sennheiser MKH40s should be super easy on the mic preamp. These Sennheiser MKH40s should be super easy on the mic preamp because they are high output, low impedance, low noise. Because they are high output, low impedance, low noise. And that was it for the scientific part of my shootout. There's one last thing I wanted to hear, and that's the U47, but poor me, I don't own a pair. So we have to go preamp after preamp, and I need to swap cables. You still see my annotation with A and B. And, well, now I'm off to editing this whole shebang, and I'm really quite curious to hear what the outcome is going to be. I have the sneaking suspicion that the condenser microphones will be fairly even across the two preamps because there is not much to amplify and they deliver a super solid signal. The dynamic microphones will probably yield more interesting results. Let me finish off with a German sentence that makes absolutely no sense, but I use it all the time to check out microphones and preamps. Well, there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, meine Mutter, die hackt Rüben. 5, 6, 7, 9 und 10. Jetzt müssen wir in die Scheune gehen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Meine Mutter, die hackt Rüben. 5, 6, 7, 9 und 10. Jetzt müssen wir in die Scheune gehen. There you have it. Enough of the fine arts. Thanks so much for watching. I'm now displaying a chart with the results and I'm very keen to hear comments. See you around.